crypto could also be used for illicit activity by bad actors, for instance, as a preferred payment by ransomware attackers or as a means of sanctions evasion. But Senator Mark Warner took issue with Chainalysis data indicating that only 0.15% of all crypto activity in 2021 was related to illicit transactions. And this is the exact moment Senator Elizabeth Warren learned from Chainalysis that criminals can use Bitcoin, but they can't necessarily hide.
How about depositing tokens in wallets that don't require identifying information?
You can always split the money up into wallets that don't require...
And that would help hide the money. And how about using a mixing service?
That doesn't remove the record of where the money actually sits.
But the question I'm asking is, does it make it harder to track the money?
No, so it doesn't make it harder to track the money because
using a mixing service, you're telling me, doesn't make it harder to launder money?
The daily liquidity value of mixing services globally is about $30 million.
So you might have to do this day by day?
And we have done extensive work in tracking large sums of money through mixers that have led to the arrests of people and the disruption of their activity.
You know, I'm actually a little surprised by your answers.
All right, joining us now is that brave man to discuss, Jonathan Levin, co-founder and chief strategy officer of blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis. Welcome, Jonathan. Thanks for joining us. So congratulations on that very impressive appearance. I have a lot of respect for Senator Elizabeth Warren, but that was a difficult exchange.
Thanks so much for having me on the show. I thought that the hearing in general was incredibly constructive and really positive for the industry. And so, you know, the goal for us to appear in these hearings is really to spread the facts about what we're seeing on the blockchain and what is the art of the possible.
Right. After that exchange, Senator Warren used that as an opportunity to introduce her Digital Assets Sanctions Compliance Enhancement Act, which authorizes the president to sanction foreign crypto firms that are doing business with sanctioned Russian entities and authorize the Treasury Secretary to act. Is there on-chain data showing that crypto is being used to evade sanctions?
So we are tracking this incredibly closely and have information about sort of the extent of Russian infrastructure that's been used for cybercrime activity and ransomware, and some of the concerns that the committee members have. When it comes to thinking about cryptocurrency and systematic sanctions evasion, we haven't yet seen evidence that this is a primary means by any stretch for the Russians to evade these sanctions.
And do you know the wallet addresses belonging to Russian oligarchs to make that determination?
So the OFAC regulator and the enforcement agency has not yet come out with any sanctions guidance that relate to oligarchs and their specific cryptocurrency wallets. And so, when that does happen, that gets immediately updated inside Chainalysis systems, and people actually now are able to screen against that for free to understand whether they're interacting with those Russian oligarchs.
Mm-hmm. And based on your discussion with lawmakers, do you think that they understand that you can track Bitcoin that has been put through mixers and passed through wallets? Or that's a pretty new innovation, and it makes crypto quite transparent, perhaps more transparent than dollars.
Yeah, I think the overwhelming majority of the committee actually do understand a number of things, from today's hearing. Number one is that first and foremost, crypto is here to stay, and it's broader than just the financial innovation that we've seen so far, and it can impact lots of different industries. I think number two is that they, all demonstrated an understanding that there is inherent traceability when it comes to public ledgers, and that with the right tools and the right resourcing, the government can actually, tackle these types of crime. And so, I think that was, very clear from all of the statements from members on both sides of the aisle.
Okay. We did hear from Senator Mark Warner of Virginia during the hearing. He doesn't believe that illicit transactions only accounted for 0.15% of all crypto activity in 2021, that a lot of ransomware attacks were underreported. Is that the case? Maybe walk through Chainalysis' methodology of arriving at that figure.
Yeah, so our 0.15% of all transactions is a figure that we do stand by. That being said, we are continuing to update our information, from the time that our reports are published to today. So, when you look at, for example, ransomware payments in particular, in our annual report, we published that there were roughly $600 million of ransomware revenue generated last year. That number, we estimate, has actually gone up to 690 based on new information that we're constantly collecting. And so, I would say that it's something that we constantly improve and update. But in terms of the order of magnitude that Mark Warner was talking about, we feel pretty confident that we understand sort of the right order of magnitude here, but we are constantly updating our numbers and intelligence.
Okay. I also wanted to play a clip from Senator Bill Hagerty, a Republican from Tennessee. Let's have a listen.
The mischaracterization that crypto is the Wild West of illicit finance, I'd hate to see that be used in a way to open the door to drop a morass of regulation on an industry that poses so much potential for America.
By contrast, it seemed that Senator Warren was a bit more prosecutorial. So when taking a temperature of the room, did you find the mood more aggressive or more crypto-friendly? And you had mentioned the word constructive.
Yeah, I think the main thing here was that everyone sort of was weighing up the balances between the security and public safety concerns and national security concerns that there obviously are at this present time with the future of finance and the ability for the United States to have what could be the largest economic engine of the next 2 decades. So there was that balance, and I think that the constructive approach and a lot of the narrative also from between Republicans and Democrats was on creating a degree of regulatory clarity where actors, industry organizations, people in the United States know exactly where they stand when they are building businesses and creating products in this space.
Any follow-ups with Senator Warren after this hearing?
We have been engaging with Senator Warren's staff, and we'll continue to happily provide briefings and follow-up information, and are looking forward actually also to any questions that come in the written form over the next week.
Are you able to discuss any work that Chainalysis is doing with the U.S. government in sorting through these issues?
So we do have contracts with a number of agencies here in the United States that are pursuing assets of sanctioned individuals, as well as in our everyday attempt to help disrupt the cybercrime operations and abuse of cryptocurrencies, and that work is only accelerating at this time and hasn't slowed down at all.